Hello. So now I'm back in Liverpool, back here in the wonderful cathedral, and yeah, for the Liverpool Foundation. Finally.
Breaking news. Liverpool manager Arne Slot sacked after 3 straight defeats as Jurgen Klopp edges closer to a sensational return to Anfield. In a dramatic twist that has shaken the football world, Liverpool Football Club has officially confirmed the sacking of manager Arne Slot following a disastrous run of 3 consecutive defeats. The decision, announced late on Sunday evening, comes after a week of intense internal meetings and growing pressure from the club's hierarchy, who reportedly felt that the team had lost its direction and competitive edge. Slot's departure marks the end of one of the shortest managerial reigns in Liverpool's modern history. Appointed amid optimism and excitement after Jurgen Klopp's departure, the Dutch tactician had been tasked with ushering in a new chapter for the club. Yet within months, the project appears to have fallen apart. A dismal run that sealed his fate. The downfall began with a narrow 2-1 defeat away to Aston Villa, followed by a heavy 3-0 loss to Brighton. But it was the 3rd consecutive defeat, a 2-1 home loss to newly promoted Ipswich Town, that turned frustration into crisis. The mood at Anfield that night was tense, with visible unrest in the stands and a growing sense that the club was drifting away from its identity. Sources inside Liverpool have revealed that the club's owners, Fenway Sports Group, FSG, had already been discussing Slot's future before the Ipswich match. The result only accelerated the inevitable. By Sunday morning, high-level discussions were taking place between John W. Henry, Mike Gordon, and Richard Hughes, culminating in the decision to dismiss the Dutchman. Slot was reportedly informed of the decision during a private meeting at the club's training complex early Monday morning. According to insiders, the atmosphere was professional but cold. Liverpool then issued an official statement shortly after midday. Liverpool Football Club can confirm that Arne Slot has left his position as first-team manager with immediate effect. We would like to thank Arne for his commitment and professionalism during his time at the club and wish him the best in his future endeavors. An update on interim coaching arrangements will follow behind the scenes. How it all unraveled. Reports suggest that tensions had been growing behind the scenes for several weeks. Members of the club's technical staff reportedly expressed concerns about Slot's methods, describing his training sessions as overly rigid and unfamiliar to the Liverpool environment. There were also suggestions that communication between the coaching department and the analytics team had become strained, particularly over tactical direction and match preparation. Unlike his predecessor, Slot favored a possession-based system that demanded patient build-up play and slower tempo transitions. While the idea initially intrigued supporters, the results were disappointing. Liverpool looked uncomfortable in possession and often failed to cope with high-pressing opponents. Internal performance data reviewed by the club reportedly showed a sharp decline in both pressing intensity and attacking efficiency compared to previous seasons. Analysts within the football operations team were concerned that these trends reflected not just a temporary dip in form, but a deeper tactical disconnect between the players and the system. The board's decisive meeting. After the 3rd defeat, Liverpool's leadership held a crucial meeting at Melwood, attended by John Henry, Mike Gordon, Richard Hughes, and senior members of the analytics and medical departments. Sources close to the club say the meeting lasted nearly 4 hours, during which the board assessed match reports, data analysis, and internal feedback. By the end of the session, the conclusion was unanimous. The project was no longer viable. A board member was quoted saying, "Liverpool is built on rhythm, passion, and intensity. Once those qualities disappear, the entire identity collapses. We could not allow the club's competitive standards to decline any further. What comes next?" The Klopp connection. Almost immediately after Slot's dismissal, speculation surged regarding a sensational comeback for Jurgen Klopp, the man whose departure just months ago left a void at the heart of Anfield. Though Klopp had announced he was taking a break from management to rest and spend time with family, multiple sources close to Liverpool's ownership confirm that contact has been re-established with the German coach. According to several British and German media outlets, Klopp remains emotionally attached to Liverpool and is still in close communication with club executives. It is understood that the board views him as the ideal short-term solution to stabilize the team and restore the club's identity while a long-term plan is developed. A senior insider familiar with the discussions told reporters, "Klopp never really left Liverpool in spirit. His bond with the club, the fans, and the city runs too deep. Bringing him back, even temporarily, could unite everyone again." Liverpool's options and strategy. Liverpool's leadership is reportedly considering a temporary return for Klopp in a hybrid role that could see him take charge of the first team, while also overseeing the broader coaching structure. This arrangement would mirror the model used by Real Madrid when Zinedine Zidane returned for a second spell after an earlier departure. Other options remain on the table, including the potential promotion of an interim manager from within the club's existing coaching staff. However, the idea of Klopp's emotional return has gained massive traction among both executives and supporters. FSG's main concern is to ensure that the next step is sustainable. The club's football department has been instructed to evaluate both immediate and long-term coaching options. Names such as Xabi Alonso and Ruben Amorim have been discussed privately, though sources admit that neither would be available mid-season. Fan reaction and global attention. News of Slot's dismissal spread like wildfire across social media, with the Liverpool fan community erupting into celebration mixed with cautious optimism. Outside Anfield, small groups of fans gathered waving banners and singing club anthems late into the night. Within hours, hashtags like #KloppBack, #AnfieldReturns, and #YNWA were trending across multiple platforms. Many supporters described the decision as a necessary reset and expressed hope that Klopp's return would bring back the energy and passion that defined the club's greatest modern successes. Media and expert opinion. Football pundits and journalists across Europe reacted swiftly to the breaking story. BBC Sport called Slot's dismissal inevitable after weeks of tactical confusion, while The Guardian described it as a decisive step to protect Liverpool's DNA. Former players turned pundits emphasized that the timing of the sacking, just before a crucial run of fixtures, suggests Liverpool's hierarchy is determined to prevent further damage to the club's top four hopes. One well-known commentator stated, "This isn't just about results. It's about rhythm, identity, and belief. Under Klopp, Liverpool had a personality. Under Slot, they became uncertain and mechanical. The board had no choice." Klopp's readiness and personal considerations. Insiders in Germany claim that Jurgen Klopp has been keeping a close eye on Liverpool's performances and remains in regular contact with key figures at the club. Though he had previously cited fatigue as the reason for stepping down, reports now indicate that he feels re-energized and open to a short-term return. Sources close to the former manager claim that he views Liverpool as unfinished business and would only consider a comeback if convinced that it aligns with the club's long-term vision. His decision could hinge on assurances about the structure of the coaching department and his freedom to implement familiar philosophies. A city holds its breath in Liverpool. Anticipation is building. Local newspapers have filled front pages with images of Klopp and headlines hinting at his imminent return. Anfield itself has been buzzing with rumors, and club staff have reportedly begun preparing contingency plans for the possible reintroduction of Klopp's coaching setup. The atmosphere around Melwood and Kirkby has shifted from gloom to cautious hope. While there is no official confirmation yet, many within the club believe that Klopp's reappearance at Anfield could be announced within the next week. If that happens, it would be one of the most emotional homecomings in modern football. A return that symbolizes not just a managerial change, but a reconnection with the soul of Liverpool Football Club. What this means for the future Slot's short reign serves as a stark reminder of the expectations that come with managing Liverpool. The legacy left behind by Klopp was always going to be a heavy burden. The team's identity, culture, and rhythm were so deeply shaped by his philosophy that any attempt to replace him without continuity was destined to face immense scrutiny. Now, with Klopp on the verge of a possible return, Liverpool stands at the crossroads of revival and redemption. If he does come back, it won't just be about tactics or formations. It will be about restoring a spirit that seemed to fade with his departure. Liverpool's owners are keenly aware that the global football community will be watching every move they make in the coming days. For the club's supporters, it is a moment filled with mixed emotions: relief at the end of a failing experiment, and hope for the revival of an era that once brought unbridled joy to the red half of Merseyside.